Why I am most glad that I left the United States of America. I wanted to dedicate this video to some of the biggest challenges that I personally experienced while living in the United States of America, more specifically in Texas, and why I left the country that welcomed me for a very different geographic location in Latin America, namely Paraguay. I hope this video will not insult anybody watching this video. I really hope that this video will shed some light so that you can see some of the real issues, actually burning issues, America is currently facing. And these issues are yet to be resolved. Now, like I said, I am very grateful that America welcomed me, and I will always be grateful for the time I had in the US, the business I was able to start, the income I was able to generate, and most importantly, the people I met. Some are now really close personal friends of mine. There's a lot of good in America, so I don't want to make this video to bash the United States of America, but I want to make this video to illustrate transparency, to highlight some of the biggest issues that I'm seeing in the US. Right out of the gate, the number one reason why I don't enjoy living in America as much as I do enjoy living in other countries is because of superficiality. I think America is a very superficial country. It is important to have money, there's no question about it. However, how much money is enough? And if people are working themselves to death just to have a better lifestyle, just to have more money, and don't get me wrong, the hours middle-class Americans are putting in are absolutely mandatory for a better life, because the cost of living in America has skyrocketed in many states, making life unaffordable for those who decide to work few hours. Naturally, the only workaround is to work more hours. It's the only thing that you can do, or you'll be left behind, and you don't want that either. However, the quality of life suffers, and this is very important. And what I mean by superficiality is that everyone's so worried about having a nicer car. Everyone's so worried about living in a bigger house. Everyone's so worried about, buying stuff all the time. Consumerism has totally destroyed any decent values Americans had left before the whole madness started. It is true that consumerism is one of the biggest issues Americans are facing in the 21st century. Like believing that we need so many things on a daily basis to be happy is crazy. Giving you a very precise and accurate example, which is car ownership in America. Wherever you look, whenever people go to work, whenever people use their cars to go to work, it's one person per car, very rarely more than that. And if there are 3 or 4 people living in a household, of course, adults, everyone has their own car. There are 4 cars per household if there are 4 adults. Sometimes 3, but most of the times it's 1 car per adult. And this is crazy. But of course, America's capitalism works much better if every person owns at least 1 car. It's better for the economy. There's more money spent on gasoline, on repairs. Like everyone's licking their chops, including Walmart, Target, all the big companies, all the monopolies are licking their chops because every person has to have their own car, right? So that's what I mean by superficiality. But it goes much broader than this, right? Like I said, everyone's worried about having the newest thing, having the newest car, living in a bigger house. Everyone's worried about looking perfect, like plastic surgery, like spending endless money on things that are actually not making us happier, because happiness comes from the inside. And if you go to other places across the globe, including in Latin America, including perhaps in Europe, in certain countries, you see people being happy with a lot less. And superficiality is not the utmost priority in a lot of countries worldwide. It just isn't. In America, it is. It's a very consumerism-driven society that cannot sit still without having the newest thing in their hands. That's just how it works in America. Like the newest phone, right? Everything has to be the newest, the newest, the newest. And of course, it's nice to have the newest technology in your hands. There's no question about it, right? There's no question as to whether or not it's nice to have the newest car, the newest phone, the newest house. I mean, we all want it. However, if it puts such a level of stress on us that we have to work 60, 70 hours a week, if it puts so much stress on us that we diminish the time that we spend with the people that matter the most, then the question is, Is it really worth it? Is the juice really worth the squeeze? Why aren't we happy with less? Being happy with less is the key in life. It really is the key. And how we can be happy with less, it's actually quite simple, it's when we lower our expectations. And I know that this is hard to see if you have only lived in the United States of America and this is all you know, this society is all you know, it's going to be really hard to imagine a different life. As soon as you travel outside the borders of the United States of America into more emerging countries, into countries where traditional values are booming, are still in place, you quickly realize that life can be different and there's so much more to life than what we have in America. Another reason why I'm glad that I left the United States of America is because I witnessed how entitled everybody is. And this is not uniquely American. The entitlement is very popular across the Western Hemisphere, Canada, the United States, Australia, Western Europe, and now also parts of Asia, and for sure also parts of Latin America, right? It's fewer and fewer countries are exempt from this rule. It is true that entitlement has taken over worldwide, making it one of the biggest challenges that we have to overcome in the 21st century. We're entitled because we believe that we are superior to others. We are entitled because of what we inherited, right? We are entitled because of the country we were born in. Like so many people take immense pride in their native country. Well, there's nothing wrong with it. What's more important than anything is the work that you put in to get ahead yourself. Because when you take pride in the things that your ancestors accomplished, in the things that were given to you at birth, the problem is that you're less likely to work hard on yourself to have more in the future. This is an undeniable fact. And this is very popular in America. In fact, millions of Americans believe that America is the best country to live in the entire world. What does best even mean? What does best country even mean? Define it. Because the quality of life in America is certainly not the best in the entire world. From a health perspective, America is most certainly not the best country to live in the entire world. From an integrity perspective, America is also most certainly not the best country to live in the entire world. Why? Just look at American capitalism and how it has destroyed the middle class. Crony capitalism is destroying everyday Americans without their knowledge. So what is America really best at? Not a whole lot of things. You can never be proud of where you were born. It's wrong. You can never be proud of what you inherited. You can be grateful for it, but you can't be proud of it. I mean, you shouldn't be proud of it. You shouldn't take pride in the things that were given to you on a silver platter. That is the kiss of death. You should take pride in the things that you accomplished for your own personal hard work, for your own sweat equity. Those are the things that you should be taking pride in, not the things that were handed to you. And you see, this mindset is so common across the mainland. It really is. It's so common stateside. And of course, not all Americans fall into this trap, but millions and millions of Americans do. Another reason why I am most glad that I left the United States of America is because of how unhealthy everybody is. Everybody is so unhealthy. The body mass index is crazy. It really is. The median body mass index in the US is crazy. And you don't notice it until you go to other countries and you're like, hey, wow, people here look so different. It's true. And of course, all of this has to do with car dependency, consumerism, and diet. The American system is structured in a way to extract the most money from people. The most money possible. Nobody cares about your health. Nobody cares about how long you're going to live. All the American system cares about is how much money they can take from you. It's all that matters. Nobody's going for a walk anymore in America. Nobody. Living on a healthy diet is actually quite expensive in America. Processed foods are literally killing Americans. So yes, the trajectory is not looking good at all. How addicted everybody is. This is another reason why I'm most glad that I left the United States of America for South America. Everyone's addicted to sugary, salty foods. It's crazy. And of course, let's not even talk about addictive substances. Everyone's addicted to entertainment. Everyone's addicted to pleasure. Everyone's addicted to the things they should not be addicted to. These addictions that we enjoy through foods, other substances, They are really in place to avoid consciousness. Americans don't like consciousness, and this is why America is a highly addicted country. Everyone's so addicted because nobody enjoys their own consciousness. If people loved their own consciousness, they would be less prone to reach for substances, correct? Here's the situation. You certainly cannot solve all your problems by relocating to a foreign country. You can solve certain problems by relocating to a foreign country because the environment will be drastically different to what you're accustomed to back home. However, certain habits can also be obtained in foreign country. It is very important that you are aware of the situation in America, what society sees as normal, and that it's probably best to reject a lot of the things that society tells you. At the end of the day, we make our own beds and we have to lay in them. I think in this day and age, it is more important than ever for us to be conscious about the decisions we make on a daily basis, and so that we can avoid a lot of the pitfalls that millions of people fell into. Only through our personal responsibility and making wise decisions can we avoid the pitfalls that lead to a deteriorated quality of life. If we make the right choices, we can assure a great quality of life. Millions of Americans decide to relocate abroad because the cost of living is lower, the quality of life is superior, and people value things differently overseas. While Americanization is taking place in tons of countries worldwide, probably in the majority of countries, while Americanization is really taking place across the entire globe, in North America, South America, Central America, the Caribbean, Europe, Africa, Asia, and Oceania. It is your decision whether you participate in it or not, and to what degree you participate in the Americanization. Millions of Americans are leaving the United States of America because they desire a healthier lifestyle, less car dependency, affordable health care, and people who value community life over greed. There are dozens of countries worldwide with a much better quality of life than America. And you hear me talking about this, and chances are if you have never been abroad, you will not believe me. And that's totally fine. However, millions of Americans who have tried living abroad over the past decades have found a better quality of life than they are accustomed to back home. It is a fact. Americans can relocate to dozens of countries with civil and property rights, including in Eastern Europe and Latin America. Many countries in Latin America and Europe allow you to own a gun legally. You see, you don't have to give up on everything that you have back home. In fact, you can continue your daily habits while living abroad. Many countries in Latin America will allow you to obtain residency without proving economic solvency. You see, you don't have to be a millionaire to move abroad for a better life. You can obtain residency in countries like Panama, Paraguay, Argentina, and Mexico by incorporating a business. You can start a business in Latin America and live in those countries for as long as you want. Likewise, Americans have many immigration opportunities in Europe, not just in Eastern Europe, but also in Western Europe. You may qualify for residency by education or real estate purchase. If you're interested in leaving the United States of America for good and relocating to a country with a lower cost of living, a better quality of life, less government, and more freedom, please book a consultation with us today. Go to nomadelite.com. Book a consultation with me personally, and I look forward to advising you on the most suitable options for yourself. Thank you so much for watching Nomad Elite. I truly appreciate your attendance, and I look forward to talking to you. Take care.